shit hits the fan and everybody understands you're just a little baby boy, not a grown-up man.
That's still
Can you
good?
see? Can you see okay? Is the lighting okay?
Everything's just fine. How about you at your end?
Like I can see you just fine. I've just got to try to remember to look at the camera.
I know. Me too. Otherwise, it just shows me looking off to the side.
I know. I want to look at you.
Anyway, I wanted to first start talking about because I've been going through your YouTube channel, and you've been at it for like 7 years
On
on
that
YouTube,
channel.
on the
Yes.
Everyman Productions channel.
Yes.
There's over 700 videos there.
701. I just uploaded one.
I just counted 702.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah.
that's right, because I put one up yesterday.
So 7 years. Um, what got you started doing this?
Oh, I've been writing songs uh, since I was a kid and playing music, and I've got a long history with music. It's a long story, but as far as on YouTube, I had started another YouTube channel. I was involved in a internet discussion group for years, and I actually would just make real quick little short videos based on news that was going on, like a little spoof newscast for what was going on with people in the group. And I had to learn how to be really fast, to use the latest technology.
Is that what this Master Shift is about?
Uh, that is a different group that had come
Okay.
to me, and I produced a lot of work for the Master Shift. Uh, there was a Facebook group. I think they still exist, and I did a program for them called Master Shift Moments, and it basically just involved somebody noticing that somebody had posted something. Guess what? This has been a while back. Somebody posted something that was really inspiring, useful, helpful information. So I would take it and turn it into a short video presentation. And then these people would see their words uh, and the importance of those words and being shared around. And so I did a lot of that. Uh, been at it for quite a while.
And is that when you started writing your own music?
Oh no, I've been doing that since I was a kid.
Okay.
I taught
And
myself to play the guitar, and just so I could. I can't sing very well, uh, but just I can sing. I can sing enough to write a piece of music and make up words to go along with it. I've been doing that for a long time.
but it's easier to I'm gonna just guess here, is it easier to put your lyrics and have AI do things that way? I mean, you
Oh
make the music.
yeah. Yes, I mean, I used to, I started a band a long time ago. It's so hard to get people together, especially if you're trying to produce your own music, because it's the idea. It's the idea that's trying to be communicated, and it comes from a special place, I think, but in all of us. But it's so hard to try to get together. I had years ago, I was a father, traveled for a living, three little children, and I rented a small office building in downtown High Point to where we could set up our music equipment and leave it there. And then these guys that were in the band with me, and they were so good to me, but they would show up every week and we would work out my songs. And then we finally got around to performing, and it was well received. Um, and then shortly after that, I found out I was getting divorced, and so it ended up I wasn't able to go down that path at that time and follow out, some of the stuff that I was working on. But then all the years go by. I've had three children. They're all three grown. Two of them, my youngest is a very prolific songwriter. His older brother is, both of them are multi-instrumentalists. His brother writes. Um, I might have sent you a couple things.
You did. You did.
from them a while back.
Their videos.
So I helped them start a band and uh, and get going with that. But so back to the controversial AI topic. Uh, this morning, here's an example. I had an inspiration. I call it Sparky. Sparky showed up, and
I
that is
saw that you just posted that video.
well, the idea, and I don't sit down and struggle with writing things. They come to me. I stop what I'm doing. I'll stop and write it down. And then I'll come back to it later when I have time. Well, now recently I've got all the time in the world. So but that came to me this morning, and so I wrote it down. And once I got the idea captured, then I arranged it the way that I do, and I engaged my AI tools, and I went through the process that I go through of throwing away 99.9% of what I pay for.
Should I
And
hear
but
that's kind of common?
you have to really put on the producer's hat uh, to get the feel and the sound. And of course, people aren't aware of how much you're involved in the process. There are people that are making a lot of slop. Uh, that's true. People want clicks and likes and attention, but they're legitimate tools. Now I call them they're my capture tools. Because back in the day, I'd come up with an idea for a song, maybe write it down on the back of my business card and stick it in my pocket until I got to the hotel that evening or at home that night and I could get my guitar or sit at my keyboard and work it out. And then I might record something with me squawking on my phone, and I call that a capture. So I could capture the idea that came before it. It's just like waking up from a dream. You wake up, and as soon as you try to remember it, it wants to run away. So, so anyway, this is the ultimate capture device, as long as you don't let it capture you.
Hmm. Well,
So,
after
but I spent my entire day today conceiving of, writing, arranging, and creating a new piece of music, a new song has come into the world. And then I went through what I have to go through to get it and turn it into a music video. And so it took me all day, but I got it done.
your videos, you've created a couple of recurring characters.
Hmm.
And I think of them as maybe your alter egos. But the one guy, the old guy with the beard, I says, well, that sure kind of looks like him. So, I don't, is that the case, or what inspired you and to create those characters? The one younger guy with who's bald and the older guy with a beard.
Yeah, the older guy with the beard is kind of, he even wears my hat. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but uh, that goes back to Everyman, that goes back a long way, which is a metaphor in itself. But to those two characters, your conversation with Jason and the concern over AI and trying to be something you're not, or trying, don't want to try to fool people or whatever. So I have been developing a couple of characters that I can use to tell stories. And I'm slowly being able to get it to hold the characters. So it's more of a father son thing. And it
Hmm.
depends on how the song comes through, uh, which one I use for the father, which one I use for the son, but it's
It's
pretty much
interesting
a
that,
metaphor
yeah,
like that.
it's interesting that you bring up that conversation that I had with Jason, but because after this article I write about you, your artist profile, I'm going to be getting into the nature and the controversy about AI. And I found this one artist, this producer, who has made a couple of very interesting videos where it's made up of the comments by people who hate AI. And I think it's a good place to start in that these people who have all kinds of nasty things to say about AI really don't understand what's involved in the production of this. I mean, you probably spend how many? I mean, you make a video, but then you spend all kinds of time spending on the music you've written and constructing it the way you want it to look and things like that. Is that correct?
Yes, it does. Today, like I said, I put in a full day today to produce one. If I was working for somebody. It would have been a full business day or longer. But the I know that there's controversy surrounding it. We could do a whole separate chat just on
Well,
that.
we can
And,
include
and,
it here.
and
In fact, I plan on showing in this other article, I plan on showing your video, The Cave.
oh, okay. I'm planning on reproducing those. We've
Well,
got upgrades. There's this shimmery sound that they being Suno is who I work with, they have finally gotten that shimmery sound out, and the vocals are so much better. They don't sound as auto-tuned or auto-tuned much at all anymore. It sounds pretty legit. Um, but those three songs will eventually probably be remastered.
like I
But yeah,
say,
you're
I
welcome to show them.
well, I think that the themes behind The Cave fit into this article because of the meanings you have in there, and maybe even in what we're talking about now, and how people are connected to their visuals on their phones, on their TV, and that's sort of, I think, the metaphor that you're using is it's similar to the cave, in that the shadows we see aren't quite real.
Oh, that's right. Though, and that metaphor is old, old, old.
Oh yeah, Plato. I think that
And AI is older than we think. Uh, and this little toy we're playing with now, hopefully, is going to help things. It's like anything else. You can use a tool for anything.
Mhm.
And in the early days, which has only been a year or so ago when I started working with this stuff, and I started out just playing and having fun. And then it dawned on me, oh, I can capture my songs. I can capture my ideas and I can push this thing in the direction I want it to go. And I don't think people realize that.
I think you're right.
If,
That's my
if,
point, is they don't
if,
realize
if
that.
you don't prompt properly, and if you don't know how this thing works and thinks, and it does have a mind of its own, um, it's good. It fills in the blanks. I don't leave the blanks. I tell it exactly what I want it to do. I tell
Hmm.
it, and if it doesn't do it, I throw it away, which is most of it. When I finally get something done, I got it as close to exactly as what I intended to do as I could possibly do within the tool set. I haven't played with the. I use it for art and as far as video, and I use it for music. I haven't got involved with it in other things.
What do
But
you
it
use for your animations?
uh, Kling,
Is that the name of the software?
KLING, yeah, Kling. And there's a group called Open AI that uses Kling in the background, and I use them to help me with some things. But anyway, back to AI as far as working with it. It's too late. It's already here. It's already happened. As far as it relates to music, I've had some of the most horrible things said to me over this. And it always goes back to the same thing. I've got a song, and if it comes to me, I'll tell you. I have a lot of songs, so my Rolodex can get full. But I wrote a song, and it's talking about, it is based on an old metaphor, how we're all like children on a playground and choosing sides and kind of hurling insults at each other and not really listening and that sort of thing. So that was the name of the song, and the artwork for it's also children. The artist is on the playground, on a children's playground. So this guy comes by and says something like, "You should shut your channel down." And I'm like, "Well, thanks for listening." And he says, "I didn't." And so I came back and I said, "Well, would you listen to the song and then get back with me?" And on one of these occurrences, the guy actually did and never came back. But on these occasions, it's been so funny. They have acted out what the song was talking about without knowing because they didn't listen to the song.
I
and,
find all of this to
and
be
they're frightened that they're going to be taken over by something in their mind. Well, that may have already happened.
Yes, you're right. And historically speaking, I am reminded of the time when Photoshop was first invented and publicized and became a regular tool. I became a graphic artist at that time. I taught Photoshop at a local college, and that adopting that early was significant to my career development. But I think the same mentality exists today. People were talking about the death of creative artwork. Like it's anyway. To me, this time reflects that almost exactly.
Well, part about this time, I think, and there's something, and it's not just music, it's all of the arts. But as it relates to music is such a magical um, thing. And some people might be offended at that word, but think about this. Somebody can look at and I draw, I paint, I sculpt, I play multiple instruments. People that want to say, you're stealing other people's talents. That's not the case here. I do all those things. But people, well, back to the AI. Oh, now I derailed myself. See what happens when you get old?
Oh, come on, who are you talking about? One thing, I'll just interject really quickly then. There's one thing, especially about using Suno, and this is what I've heard. It's that it is like going into a studio, a recording studio, to produce your song. I mean, this is what other people are telling me. And you go in there and you work on the different instruments, you work on the tempo, you work on everything else about it, like you would do in any kind of professional.
Yeah, they haven't integrated what they call a DAW, digital audio workstation. And you can sing your melody or play your guitar, play a melody, play your keyboard or whatever. You can play that and put it in there, and that can be the first track. And then you can say, well, based on the melody, what you hear singing, then it'll make a voice and make it in tune in my case. Uh, but then you can go back and add the bass line. And then you start experimenting, and you can go back and add each instrument, to get your arrangement just like you want it. Again, the less you input, it's just going to do what it wants to do. So we shouldn't let it do that. And especially as far as writing the lyrics, that it's not conscious. So I'm not, it's good for factual information or, a database type stuff or whatever. But this spark of inspiration that resides in the heart of everybody is, it's what I wrote recently, did something. I talk about this a lot, Mark, but it's called Two Magical Questions. And the first one is, how often in your story have you noticed in the smallest ways, I knew I should have taken that with me. I knew I should have done this, or I knew I should have done that. And then later on in the day, you go, oh man, I knew I should have taken it. I needed it worse than anything. And most people I talk to, that's a common occurrence. And we don't say, I gave that a lot of thought. We just look back in the rearview mirror and say, I knew something told me that. That right there is what we don't listen to. And right now, in large numbers, is what we're not listening to, in my opinion,
Yeah, you're
or
right.
be producing the
I
result
agree.
in our co-creative process of what we're doing here together. So, um, anyway,
In the AI videos that I see every day, and that's what Tiki Kitty does, is look at videos. Um, we've been looking at the fan-made and unofficial videos forever. I am now finding that those same fan-made video producers and unofficial music video producers are using AI.
oh, a big percentage of music. Listen, AI's been around a long time before we got our hands on it. Artists have been using it for a long time.
It's now got easier for them to use and less expensive.
Uh, Again, I think it could be used as a good starting place. And listen, I've had some fellow musicians, give me a little grief or whatever. And look, I'll just say it to the camera. Come play with me,
Exactly.
And one of them we used to play together. I've started bands and I've done stuff together. I have a catalog of music. If you believe in what I'm talking about, if the songs move you and you think it would be better done by humans, I'd love to do it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
But in the
well,
meantime, I'm not going to cork my genie bottle anymore.
I'm going to quote you to that.
I'm just not doing it.
That's what I've been looking for as far as a quote goes. You're not going to cork your genie bottle, and it's you shutting off your creativity to appease to some of the people who are not understanding creativity.
Well, and here's the thing that it comes down to. And so we're talking about AI music. Do you know we haven't discussed, and I'm not pointing this to you. No, we hadn't discussed the content of one song, the message.
Of your
What's
songs?
being, that's right. What's being spoken? What did he mean by that?
Well, we did talk
One
about the
question.
cave.
I know that, but I'm just saying, again, I'm not pointing this at you, but I'm saying in the controversial concept, and I will get grief from people because it's AI. It's just as bad as other kinds of prejudices, but I can't say it, prejudices that we have,
Yes, I
where we
agree
put
with
a
you.
label on something or someone, and so then we conveniently believe we know everything about it, and we just dismiss that, which is fine. I'm not looking for those people anyway.
Exactly.
They're dismissing this already.
But it's a sign of
Everything
our
about,
times. I
but
think it's a sign.
everything
Yeah.
about the work that I do, if you read the description on my page, it'll tell you uh,
Well,
what my
tell me
brain is
about one
about.
of your recent videos that you feel illustrates what you just talked about. I mean, I can go through your list here and look at your most recent videos, and
Well,
clarity.
I do social commentary. Yeah, clarity is about just that. Clarity, coherence. And let me give you my definition of coherence. Most people experience two conflicting streams of consciousness. One is this voice in here in our heart that we don't listen to until we've already not listened. And then we're kicking ourselves. And the other one is here's the second of the two magical questions. Mark, not directed towards you, but anybody. If you talk to everybody else the way you talk to yourself in your own head, would you have any friends? That's usually the response I get. And then people will go, you know what? I don't think I would. And so then the question is, okay, why is that there? I can't tell you why it's there. I can tell you, don't feel singled out if you experience what we just talked about. One, there's this voice that we don't listen to, and then there's this little bully between our ears that gets most of our attention all the time. And it's a miserable state of being.
Well,
We're
talk to
not.
me. Talk
And
to me.
so how do we get the heart in coherence with the brain? This is where the disconnect is. The brain is doing the driving, and our deeper parts of intuition, creativity, we have foreknowledge. There's all kind of wonderful things that's inside the human heart that's known about.
Well, this is what I wanted to
Awesome.
talk to you about is, I suppose, inspiration. Um, do you have an inspiration first, or are you working on a project and waiting for the inspiration to come?
I'm not ever waiting. I'll be doing whatever I'm doing. But when something like the song "Clarity" showed up this morning, just as they do sometimes, and I had the space to do it in, so I just gave it my full attention and worked on it all day. Um, Sometimes I jot it down and get back to it. Before I retired, that was my modus operandi. I'd jot it down and get back to it
Oh
when I
yeah, as I got older, writing things down has become very important to me. Try not to trust my memory. So,
And you know what's funny? I've had so many people tell me over the years they see my artwork or whatever, see a picture, or and they go, "Man, you have too much time on your hands." Now I'm a professional and award-winning too, by the way, in sales, in capital equipment, and things like this. But guess what? I don't watch TV, and I traveled for a living, and then I'm sitting in a hotel room all night. Well, guess what I do with my time? I do. I have software that I use on my iPad to do oil paintings. I have a collection of oil paintings, graphic design like you do, but it simulates the look and the feel of oil, and then you can print it out on canvas. And uh, but it's always tickled me that the people see something beautiful or see something inspiring, and their response was, "You just have too much time on your hands."
And I find that I don't have enough time. I go through all of these things that inspire me and then try to work on them all. And then before I know it, I need to go to bed. So I'm not sure that if
Yeah,
anybody says I have too much time on my hands, they don't know what I do.
right.
And that's kind of with you, but you just,
But most people are chasing a dollar because they have to,
yeah,
and
exactly.
whatever else, the busyness. And there's so many people, and that's another thing that Everyman Productions has been doing, is I've had people come to me that's had a poem or a song lyric or something that's been rolling around in their head for decades, and they've come to me and I've helped them develop that and bring it to life. And I've loved doing that. You mentioned Joe Bishaw.
Yeah,
He was number one on your thing one week, and that's Carla Ray's brother.
brother. Yeah, I think
And I've got
she mentioned that.
I've got a collection of her poems that I've done and helped take. And when you get a poem, it wasn't written as a song, so there is no chorus usually, and it's just lines. But you take those lines and change them around, and I'll find out what's going to be the chorus, and then I'll repeat those things, and I'll make a bridge, and there's structure to putting music together.
Hmm.
Um, and anyway, and so quite a few of her songs and her partner songs or poems I've done for several people. I'm not hanging a shingle out to do that, but I've enjoyed doing that too. My
Uh,
mother-in-law is in her 80s, and she has a song that was meaningful to her for so many years, and she only heard it in her head. And so I had her hum it to me. And anyway, so now that's on the channel, and she can go listen to it.
did
And
you
she
bring
can,
it to life? Is it on your YouTube
I did,
channel?
yes, I didn't make a video,
Oh, you did not make a video too.
but
Okay.
it's a song called Mother.
Well, I this is what others have told me in particular. One guy who says he was writing poetry when he was 10 years old, and he recently remembered that poem and made it into a music and is going to be a music video, I think.
So
Um,
good.
so yeah, it's just that it brings back our pasts, and we don't want to forget, and that's kind of my life basically is making sure that I don't forget, and that's what so much of what I'm doing is an archive of all
Hmm.
of this. And
I've got a collection of instrumental stuff too on my channel. I'm sitting here with two keyboards right in front of me. I keep them here connected to the computer and capture songs that way. My dad, who's passed now, he liked classical music, and I've got a playlist called relaxing music, and some of it, and then I have some called orchestral music, and that was a playlist I put together. Um,
so, are these on your YouTube channel? I'm
yeah,
looking
they're
at
on
it
there
now.
too. And that
Huh.
and that's not AI. I went from real instruments to then using keyboards with sampled sounds. Uh, I can do pieces on I've got a keyboard called a Roly, and I wish I could show it to you, but I can't. You can press down on the keys, and it's almost like silicone. You can bend the keys, you can bend the notes. So you can really do emulate like a saxophone and get those sounds or electric guitar and get the string bends and stuff. So so before the AI came around, then I was producing music electronically in a digital audio workstation that way, laying down multiple tracks and arranging things that way. But now I can focus on the idea, the reason, the purpose, the story. And I like to do the whole package, the whole music video from like I did today. From the idea comes to tell that story, sing that song, and illustrate it in a moving, uh, in a moving way, in an inspiring way. We've been incited quite a bit. We could use some inspiration through my experience. And when I say that, I had an experience when I was 17 years old that changed everything. I don't talk about it much because I can't really explain it. But I can tell you this, that in our hearts, we're all on the same page. That same voice that you wished you'd listen to is the one I wished I'd listened to. Same one. There is guidance that's within the heart of all of us and doesn't have a name, doesn't choose favorites, but it's there if we listen. It's helpful
And I agree with you
and
100% on
it will really bring coherency. If you are like most people that has this, I remember when I had this inner voice in my head that was just constant. Uh, there's another side to that. And I try to write music about that and to use the music as a tool to get to a better place inside ourselves. There's nothing religious in what I'm talking about or writing about. It's just love.
that. Hmm.
And listen, I'm not trying to get famous or make money or start a movement. There's a voice that's inside all of us. I'm pointing to that. You got to find it for yourself. We all have to find it for ourselves
You're right.
and
And that,
work it out for ourselves. I'm just trying to help.
um,
But again, for me, the music. Oh, this is what I want to talk. Oh, we've got 5 more minutes.
oh yeah, we have.
Think about this. If you watch, you can look at a painting or a sculpture, and are you going to be moved? You might say, "Wow, somebody's really talented," but it's not necessarily moving. But when you get to music, before you've even heard the first lyric, you're tapping your foot.
Hmm.
Our bodies begin to entrain with the sound. It's a very potent medium. And then you have this spiral of different sounds swirling all together and these harmonies and this beautiful texture. And it creates emotion or what's similar to the feeling of emotion. And our emotions will entrain with that. Now, right in the middle of that, you put a good stream of conscious communication. And you've really got something. You've got a beautiful delivery system to communicate. And it's so funny to me that music videos went away. Everything that we do in communication is all the elements of a music video,
Yeah, right.
even a sitcom, even a sitcom. But the music videos became too well, they went the wrong way, I think. But
The marketing involved is what turned them
it's
into.
just about making money. That's all we want to do is just make money. It's a sickness. Artists are here to help us. Artists are here. The people that hear this voice that I'm talking about and have something to say, maybe we should listen. You know,
Exactly.
maybe, and I'm not saying cut your brain off. We've already done that. Maybe, and when I say maybe we should listen, I'm not saying to me or to any organization, but maybe we should start listening to our own heart. Maybe we should start asking questions about, uh, everywhere I go, there I am. I can't escape me. When am I going to start being friends with that? When am I going to be friends with me?
And I think that is, I don't know, that's how we should end this discussion. I mean, I think I have a lot here, and I'm going to transcribe a lot of this for the article, and I'm probably going to show a bunch of this. But I think
So,
what you just said, I think is pretty
but
much
that's what
sums everything up.
but that's what I write about. And if I'm after anything, it's ears
Yeah.
that want to hear uh, about things like that.
Well, I'm going to say thank you and good night.
Thank you and good night.
You have a great day and a great weekend, and
And
I'll
listen,
talk to you
while you
soon.
got the camera running, Mark, thank you so much for that award. Uh, just thank you.
And I want you to know how much of a help you have been in everything that we do here. You deserve that award because of how much you helped me realize where things are going. And that's why I'm going to talk to you more about this subject when I get into the next article.
anytime I can be of help.
Thank you again, and you
Thanks.
take care. We'll talk again soon.